Bum, ba-dum. Good morning. Yeah, I'm not over with you guys yet. Today's another art class day. I gotta go and get my hair cut. I think that last guy cut my hair. It's been like 4 weeks or so. It has been the whole month. Used to have to get a haircut every 2 weeks or so. He cut it so short that it didn't have to get cut all the time. Well, listen, with these, I just want to talk a little bit about this YouTube business. If anything, just to let them know, because I don't want to talk to them. You know, I'm hearing about all their troubles. We've watched this thing change from, like 4 or 5 years ago. Whenever I was playing on here, you could actually seem to like talk to some people. It was really cool, and in some cases, we can still do that now. But it's just things have changed a lot. And of course, with what we're all new conspiracy is that they're wiping out truth channels. Anyone who has a different narrative than what the outside world has, and either by demonetizing them or just literally cutting and shutting off their channels. And and then there goes your platform. You can't say anything anymore. You can't rebuttal. You can't say, it's just like before, like what I'm doing here is, I've listened to these churches for years and years, and I've always seen them do a little something wrong. And I would love to be able to reach into that television set and put my 2 cents worth in. And otherwise, 2 cents worth isn't asked for. They just don't care. It's tell you what it is, and that's the thing. You got to listen to them. And of course, you know, I know that I've been getting better news, from folks, ordinary folks on these social media sites. And before I gave up television, I was taking it all from comics, comedians so I mean, if that's where the news is coming from, is comedies and comedians and stuff like that, who called themselves fake news, by the way, the Comedy Central. In order for them to tell the truth, they had to write down that they were fake news. Fake news. Google it. Anyways, I'm totally against all these things. I have enough information between all, either whether it's being, cussing, just outright cussing, coming up with stories against the different religions. My stance against Islam and in their religion. Somehow or another, none of these things are being picked up on, or they don't give a damn, or because I actually can prove this in the Bible. I can prove everything that I ever say by using this Bible, and even more so now than when I started out. Because it's becoming easier to talk about. It's easier to say, and so. But if the only thing that comes out of my mouth is just wah 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 wah, even at all of this, maybe that's all these people at YouTube are hearing. Look, this guy's talking like an idiot. Well, wonderful, wonderful. But anyways, give me my 15 minutes of fame. I listened to this guy the other day. He says he's a non-monetized guy, and he's talking the news, and he's getting hits, and he gets hundreds of people, and then all of a sudden he's not getting anything because he's not with the crowd, and he's starting to get strikes against things, whatever the hell these things are that they can use to shut you down with. What I think, and it also, he was really enjoying that he had a lot of people showing up. I'm enjoying that I've gone from like 30 people when I started this. I could start off with nothing, but that initial 30 I thought was pretty cool. I said that was like an art class for me. So I can teach 30 people some of these interesting things. It's all Bible backed. Every bit of things that I have found and have discovered with this number system is this Bible. I can actually explain how I came about. I can explain how my seed and the stories. I can explain how I came about through that Bible, and I could use that. Give me my 15 minutes, you guys. But somehow or another, I've been pigeonholed already. You know, I just am. It takes over an hour and a half, 2 hours to upload something that's 15 or 20 minutes long, all right, or 30 minutes long. That's a good long time to have to sit around and babysit shit, you know. And I'm certainly not part of this. They keep busting in sometimes. But we want to know what you think about how things are going. Well, motherfuckers, I don't get advertisements on here. You barely publicize me in any way or recommend me in any way, shape, or form. And this is the truth, and it needs to get out there more than anything. But I can see that it's just being pushed back further and further and further. But every now and then I go out fishing in these other places and put a little wisdom out, and a little couple of people may show up. That's all I do. So I really love this platform to come out here because I don't give a damn. I have my own job. All these kids whining about needing money and wanting money and what this. The truth doesn't cost you. All right, it costs you for lies. Okay, that's what those other people making you give them money for lies. I can't do that. And anyone who actually gives away this wonderful information, or not gives away, but tries to sell for profit. You know, ooh, I wonder what happens to you. You know, well, I don't know. I have to understand that, people are going to do what the hell they want, you know. But this knowledge is really just what we do here. It's just this idea of just gaining back your own mind. You're still in this world, you know. You just don't have to react and be like everyone else, Take a break from it, you know. I've lived all their lives already. I've lived all of those things, and I still have to put up with all of it. Not just put up with it, but continue to live in it. All right. So, anyways, I was hoping that we could get in real fast to this next part of Matthew. All right, so I'm going to minus you down and see if I can't find it. Matthew 23. That's a number 5. So it's the brethren, and yes, it's exactly what it's talking about. And the disciples are the 12, which represent the brethren. The multitudes represent the brethren. And because on this side, most of these people, religion represents the outside, and that's the Pharisees. And I've done this somewhere before because it just sounds so familiar. It's like whenever I was like, "Take this, you Christians," this is some deep shit. So we're not going to go real far. But anyways, Matthew 23, King James version, of course. Then spake Jesus to the multitudes and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. All right, so 1, 2, and 3, those are the 3. So this sets up this chapter, so we don't really have to go through all of it. But it's going to talk about the hypocrisy of what do you not do, what do you do, and what they don't do. They sit in Moses' seat. Moses was taught by God, how to do this meditation about to strengthen his hand. And the part about, well, stick your hand within yourself and pluck it out, and then it was leprous. And then, freaked him out, and he put it back in and came back out and it was back again. So this death thing isn't this idea of going internally inside of us. This is the only way you can talk to God, So even when this is going on in with Moses and God, they're both in spirit. You just have to understand it when those guys are communicating together, because the Bible tells us that God is spirit, and that if you want to talk to God, you have to be in spirit too. All right. So this isn't, Moses sitting here and this God talking to him. No, they're both in the same place chatting with each other, mouth to mouth. So It's just showing, well, because Israel and none of those people are honoring mother and father. All right, which means they're not going inside, they're not following the way, they're hypocrites. All right, so that's for the first part of this story. It's going to be about them. All right, so number four, which represents the the state of mind. Four is the world, it's the traveling, it's the state of your mind. So, for they bid heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and they lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. If you got to understand the idea that this is why that the Bible was actually made to create this burden to lay on people's backs, to give them this, to make them heavy, and to have this trouble. It sounds like the St. Christopher story where Christ gets heavier and heavier and heavier, and this giant of a man begins to slip, and he cries out, "Oh God, help me!" That's magic, all right. But this idea is, he's telling them that, why don't do what they tell you to do, because they don't do it themselves. All right, they're just making a mockery of this. They're just standing up in front of people and doing it so that they can be seen. Well, let's see what happens. So four is their mind. The four is a state of mind. This is what happens. The grief, it says burdens, and grieve is to be borne. Grievous head wound. Does this make any call? And when you go into hanging out with the lower, the grievous head wound is that you killed your mother. You sparing the rod, spoil the child. You'll never have its kids. You'll never get up there. And that's what this talks about. That's what all of this is about. Six, which would be normally, this is another thing that's interesting, is whenever these things, the normal sixes and seven, eight, nine, these are generally places where good things would happen, and this would have to do with the Lord and the God, the alternative energy within the person running up that chakra. But these last few things all of these have been on the other side, the flip side of the chakra, the negative side. Jesus comes up and smites that tree that didn't have any fruit on it and stuff. That's the Kundalini. This is the side that doesn't bear fruit. It's the left side. All right. So it's just really interesting. So here's six, which should be the ladder, right? This is the top place. And they love the uppermost rooms at feasts and the chief seats in the synagogue. This is the ladder. Did you understand that? The top of the ladder, this is where those guys went to spy on the other, the right side to see what's going on. They got up there and spied and then came back down. This is the ladder, the top of the ladder, six. Remember, they never went over. They just looked. They just checked it out. Seven, and greetings in the markets, and to be called rabbi by men. This makes them feel great. All right. And eight, but be not ye called rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. That's eight. So eight is talking about the control. Eight is, this is your advice. But ye not call anyone rabbi, for only one master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. All right? That's eight. Nine. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father, which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. That's 10. 11. But he that is greatest among you shall be your servant. All right. And whoever shall exalt him shall be abased. And he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. Humble himself. Moses is the most meekest person on earth. And God singled out him as of the earth, was the far most feeble, most meek person on earth. To understand that? Um, this is this is this is all those last couple, the 4 or 5 pieces that were in here were being told to you as this is the advice. You don't have this father out here. You don't call someone your master, and hey, this is given to someone who humbles himself. This is you only have one of these. It's you. You don't need that stuff on the outside. All right. So number 13, which is 4. Remember, this is where the state of mind. 4. All right, 13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer them ye that are entering to go in. All right, that's 4. The state of mind is that the intellectual side of them, the black. This is where they're oh, don't talk to me because I'm black. Remember, this is the story. Is that she represents their spiritual side is represented by the black, by the intellectual side, the outside. That's the west part of our control. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. The number 4, the northeast, southwest. It actually is not going from the north. It's going from the left side of your brain, which is the west. It has to cross through north, your emotions, your south, your physical side, all the way to the right side, which is the east. All right. And in this situation, they're talking to scribes and Pharisees. Scribes are people that write the word. Pharisees are those that speak the words. All right. And a couple of days ago, we had the word lawyer thrown in, and people think they just lawyer. Lawyer is the guy who keeps track of the law. There's nothing outside of religion that they're speaking about. All right. And we know how God feels about the guys who tell them how to read the scripture. All right, the Bible teachers. All right, and of course, Pharisees are the teachers. They're the highest parts of this of religion. All right, very interesting. 6, which is 15. 6 is this idea. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For ye compass the sea and land to make one proselyte, one prostitute. All right. And when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourself. Twofold. That just means you make him into a child of hell by bringing him into your growth, into this place. And they think that until the word is spread all over the world, will one day beautiful things will happen. It's just awful. That's what it means to try to. They're going out trying to bring everyone into the fold. Bring and makes them two. What is it? The idea is that it keeps them as a two. You can't be a one. And this is what it says: you make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. A child of hell is someone who is birthed from the lower mind. Something is birthed from the lower mind, and a lot of that has to do with uh, anything that comes out of that is when you are birthing from this side of your brain. All right, they're always spotted. This is a spotted sheep. Your thoughts are spotted. Everything. All right. Now, number 16. Woe unto ye blind guides. I'm a guide, all right? I'm not a blind guide, which say, whoever shall swear by the temple, it is nothing. But whoever shall swear by the gold in the temple, now he's the debtor. 17. Ye fools and blind. This is 8. For whether is greater, the gold in the temple or what sanctify the gold? 18. Whosoever shall swear by the altar is nothing, but whosoever shall swear by the gift that is upon the altar he is guilty. 19. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater, the gift or the altar that is sanctified the gift? Whosoever shall swear by the altar sweareth by it, and by all things therein. And he that shall swear by heaven sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth therein. This is number 22, which is 4. Yeah. And 4. And he that sweareth by heaven sweareth by the throne of God, and by him that sitteth thereon. This is when your left side or your right side becomes this particular thing. And woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye pay tithes you pay tithe of mint and something and coming. And have ye admitted weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith? These ought ye to have done. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the outer undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye make clean the outside of the cup and the platter, but within ye are full of extortion and excess. Thou blind Pharisees, clean first that which is within the cup and the platter, and the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! Ye are like unto white sepulchres. That's where dead people are kept inside, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are full of dead men's bones, and of all uncleanliness on the inside. Even so unto you outward appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. All right? Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you build the tombs of the prophets, and you garnish the somethings of the righteous. 30. And say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would not have been partakers of them in the blood of their prophets, of the blood of the prophets. 31. Where therefore ye witnessed unto yourselves, that ye be the children of them which killed the prophets. Fill ye up with the measure of your fathers, ye serpents, ye generation of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? All right. Whether behold, I send you unto prophets and wise men and scribes, and then you just killed them, crucified, and come to them shall ye scourge ye. Shall they scourge in your synagogues and persecute them from the city to city, that ye may come all the righteousness bloodshed upon the earth, from that upon you may come all the righteous bloodshed upon the earth, from the blood of righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of something another, bar something another, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. This is before you get there, between the temple and the altar. Let me finish this up, and then I'll give you an idea of what this is talking about. If you haven't already figured it out, verily I say unto you, all these things shall come upon this generation. O Jerusalem, Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophet, and stoned them that are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as the hen gathers her chickens underneath her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto you desolate. All right? And for I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. All right, man, all my hairs are just standing up. So This particular number is talking about 5. It's talking about you. It's talking about the skin, where this temple is located in your head. And at the same time, these are the stories that how come I send something to you and all you do is kill them. Whenever he sends someone to go and feed something from his stuff, the people kill them. What's going on? This war with the skin is this idea that you have to take on the outside elements and leave the whole inside of you alone. This idea that you are rotten on the inside. They want you to clean yourself up from the inside and make the outside clean. This whole thing, this whole part of this story is teaching you that don't do what the religious people do. That they're only out there to be seen. They don't do any of these things. They do what they can to keep you from going into heaven. They won't go there themselves. This is talking right out. There's hardly anything in this that needs to be changed in any way where you're not getting the right story. But if you were to take those numbers, for instance, the 6, all of those at the top of the ladder thing, and listen, this is what I'm teaching you, is how to read the Bible correctly by using the number system to do this with. All right. All the travelings and all that stuff show up in 4, and it's the state of mind, and it's just really wonderful. It's just really, really, really wonderful. I didn't know we were going to go through the whole thing. And so, looks like I have another 2-hour layover. Hello, I'm back again. Before this ever gets brought to you guys. So, listen to all of those things. This is what the Pharisees, they're talking about religion. They're not, listen, if we're supposed to follow after the Judaism, Judeo-Christians, that connection there. Honor mother and father from that first part. And then Jesus goes and tells us, to love the neighbor as their self with your whole mind and your whole heart, and all of your mind, all of your heart, and all your soul. That means you have to bring all 3 of these things to the, up there. You have to bring all 3 things with you when you go, all right, when you meet up with this thing. It's just really cool. And, to be able to teach you guys that, the stories in the Bible have some kind of, they do have value. And so the stories of Jesus, all these people, the odd part is that no one has to really die. It's a symbolic gesture. It's a symbolic jargon towards someone who cuts off their old self and wants to follow Jesus by going the way and finding it. And it's not just like, I believe in Jesus. I believe that he was killed. I believe in all of the tortures and the negativity that will someday bring me to salvation. Well, the Bible gives us that, the slumber gives us that, Well, yeah, something negative is going to bring about some kind of salvation, but not a physical murder. And this is this idea, that someone gave their life for us, and we give our lives for it. Just that simple. All right. And no one dies. Even if they say that, this idea that, wherever the carcass lays, wherever it falls, the eagles will come find it, That's the bird, how it is, What was happening when Jesus was being baptized by John? This is not an outwardly thing. So they were both in spirit, right? Right? This is the way it would be. Jesus would be in spirit because it's the way it works. This baptism of his is an inside thing, not an outside thing, right? In the River Jordan, It's not the river that runs down there, the river of Jordan. We have found out and shown. I've got it down here. It represents the kundalini of the body, and it's going down. That idea of going down. I'm going coming down to conquer. I am going to kick some ass. That's the wrath of God. All right, and the press, the wine press. Remember, you are the wine. You have this in you. You just got to squeeze with your hand. Use your hand and squeeze whatever's inside the skin. Let it out. Serve this to the Lord. That's how it works. Have a beautiful day, you guys. I'm going to go get a haircut. All right? And let's see if I can't find that X button. I love y'all. Best to you. Oh, yeah. And YouTube, this is probably the most original thing, because not a lot of people are doing this, if anyone at all. This is what you guys are here for. Platform for people to be original and let their information out. You know, if you have to, sanitize everything and make everything a lie, like mankind's supposed to be, I'll understand. But there's still supposed to be little outcroppings, because it's the hell that you bring on to us that actually is one day it's going to make us have enough of it and make change. And even if we're not in that position of being able or authority to change you, but the sheer numbers of us that care about the truth, no matter how little we get of it, will change things. This is history. You have to understand that. But anyways, this is the most original shit, and it's the truth. And, supposedly no evil can come against this, all right? So that's what I've been banking off of, and that's why I'm still here. And that's why I can say things like Islam is a fake religion. Even if they're, all having a great old time, they offer no redemption. There's no salvation. The only thing that's worthy in their group there is that they cling to the Old Testament, and there you can find salvation. But are any of these guys doing it? No, not even the Christians. No, hell no. Just folks like you and me who can see through this. You can see through the garbage to the truth. You can see through the letter to the spirit. And you've learned how to plant that seed inside of you and grow that vine and activate the pineal gland, connect to Father, you, Mom, Dad, all together, one. Now you're worshiping one God. It's so beautiful. Get in touch with yourself today. ASAP.